few years ago, I worked with a client who came to me and said, every single man that I attract to me is a married man. Not what I want. What is going on here? So we start working together. We dive in to figure out, like, what is this? When I say married men, I mean, these weren't, some of them were men who were going through a divorce, but they're not fully done with the whole process. But there was a bunch who, they're not even going through divorce. They're straight up just married, trying to have an affair. Whether they were upfront about it or not, she found out about it later. And it was a string of multiple people like this over multiple years. So it wasn't just some isolated incident. I thought things were going well, but it turns out he was married. It was like 6, 7, 8 men in a row over multiple years, spread out, all married. So she's trying to figure out, what is this? Why am I attracting men like this? And oftentimes these are, I mean, pretty much these are the most unavailable men that there are. Like, it's not just they're emotionally unavailable, they're also legally unavailable because you're tied in with someone else. They're also spiritually unavailable because they're tied in with someone else. Right? It's the ultimate unavailability. So what is it about her that was attracting men like this? And there's two things. The first is the really big secret. If you're attracting unavailable people, you are unavailable internally. You are a frequency match for them. That's why you are drawing these people into your world. Or if you draw them into your world, it's why you resonate with them and you end up hanging out with them, pursuing something with them, things move forward with them. Because if you were truly available and you drew someone like that into your world, that would get sussed out pretty quickly and you would just move them along. But that you're getting intertwined with them is because their level of unavailability is matching your internal level of unavailability. Same wavelength. Okay. But in her case specifically, that's the first point. The second point for her specifically is, why was she attracting married men? Not just unavailable, but married unavailable men. What is that? And we worked together for, I think it was like 2 or 3 months. And then finally at some point it comes out that she is married. And she didn't tell me this. Like, hold on a second. She just kind of dropped it casually in conversation one time. Like, wait. You're married? She's like, oh yeah. I got married 8 or 9 years ago, and yeah, just never got divorced. I was like, you never got divorced? No, just my ex and I, we just don't have the best relationship. He's very difficult to deal with. That's why I didn't want to be married to him anymore, and we kind of just parted ways, but just never signed the paperwork. Like, okay, well, when's the last time you spoke to him? Like 4 or 5 years ago. It's like, okay, so but you're still legally formally married. She's like, yes. You see the connection here? You're attracting unavailable men who are still married or are trying to cheat on their wives. You are a woman who is still married. You never had that separation. And the reason why she was attracting men to her is because, a couple reasons. One is because at the back of her mind, she knows subconsciously, like, even if you're not consciously thinking about it when you're going to dating, like, I want to find my next relationship, I want to meet the right person for me. That's what I want. But at the back of your mind, I've got this unfinished project back here. I never signed the damn divorce paperwork. That needs to be done. And as long as that's still looming in the background, that's going to be holding a lot of psychic weight. That's going to be preventing you from moving forward. It's anchoring you to the past because you know that this is a major unfinished project that has to be done. That's the first thing. And that's kind of more of at a psychological level. You just know that this is looming in the background. But if you take it a step further to the spiritual level, why would God, the universe, source, whatever you believe in, why would that divine guiding hand, why would God put the right person for you in your path when you haven't yet cleared the commitment you've already sworn? Because most people, presumably if you're getting married, like, you're doing it in a church or some kind of ceremony of whatever that might be. And most people are swearing a commitment to another person before God. But if you're not formally divorced, you haven't fully let that commitment go, you're still holding on to a karmic debt here. Why would God place that next person in your path or reward you with that future when you have not yet cleaned up the past? You swore an oath before God to this other person, and yet that hasn't been cleared. You're not going to meet that next person. And I've seen this repeatedly over, I don't know how many years at this point, 7 years doing this full time now. Every client I've ever worked with who is not yet divorced and they're trying to date, they never find their person, ever. I've never once seen it work. And this isn't even just people I've worked with. This is a lot of people that I've talked to who've been going through that same process. You don't find that person because you haven't cleaned the board yet. You got to clean the board psychologically of like, this task is done. You got to clean the board legally so you know that you can actually move forward and you're not like dealing with the time, the money, the expenditure of going through the divorce process, which sucks and is painful. And you got to clear the board spiritually in knowing that I have honored to the best of my ability and finished that commitment that I made, and that has been moved along now. And now I'm truly open and available for that next person. So I guess my message with this one is, if you are someone who you are actively going through divorce, or a divorce, you're separated but not yet fully divorced, or if you got married a while ago and you just never signed the paperwork 10 years ago, and you're trying to date and you're wondering, why am I not attracting available people? That is you. You are unavailable. You got to clear the board before you can move forward.